Good morning, afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to Contest of Champions with me, Rich the Man. Today, we're going to be looking at Moon Knight. Now, this is a character I've really wanted to review for a long time and have a look at the comic book history because it's such a mysterious character. So, without further ado, let's get on with looking at the history before we have a look at the character within the game. Moon Knight's first appearance is in Werewolf by Night issue 32 on the 1st of August 1975. The issue was entitled The Stalker Called Moon Knight. Moon Knight's real name is Mark Spector. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He was the rebellious son of a studious Jewish rabbi whose family had fled Europe in the 1930s to escape the Holocaust. Mark could not understand why his father refused to fight against his people's persecution and grew disgusted with his pacifist nature, viewing him as a coward. Rejecting his father's faith, Mark started out as a heavyweight boxer before eventually joining the US Marines, where he was trained as a commando. Shortly after, his skills led to his recruitment into the Central Intelligence Agency, where he worked with William Cross, who later became the villainous Crossfire, and his own brother, Randall Spector. However, Randall betrayed the CIA and was secretly smuggling and selling weapons, and when Mark's lover discovered this, and when she tried to turn him in, he brutally murdered her with a meat cleaver. In retaliation, Mark hunted Randall down, but during the fight, Randall was seemingly killed by an exploding grenade. Fed up with the CIA, Mark went independent and became a fierce soldier of fortune, renowned for his willingness to do anything, providing the job paid well enough. In Africa, he met French mercenary Jean-Paul "Frenchy" Duchappe, who would become one of Mark's closest friends and Mark's pilot. While working for the terrorist Raoul Bushman, Mark became increasingly disturbed by Bushman's savagery and ruthlessness. For the first time in his life, his conscience had awakened, and it troubled him deeply. Then in Selma, in the Sudan, they stumbled across an archaeologist, Dr. Peter Around's excavation of an Egyptian pharaoh tomb. Believing there was gold and riches within, Bushman murdered Around to plunder the tomb. Sickened by Bushman, Mark tried to do the decent thing and helped Around's daughter, Marlene, escape from Raoul's attention. Annoyed with Mark's betrayal, Bushman brutally beat Spector and abandoned him in the desert so that he would suffer before he died. Barely conscious, Spector staggered to the ancient tomb for shelter. Marlene was there with her father's men and brought Mark to rest near a statue of the moon god Noshu. Weakened from his fight with Bushman and the elements of the desert, Mark Spector died. As Marlene cried over his cooling body, Spector suddenly came back to life, claiming that he had a vision that Noshu had brought him back from the dead in order to be the Moon Knight of Vengeance. Spector removed the burial shroud from the statue of Noshu and wrapped it around himself as a makeshift cloak before he confronted Bushman once again, and this time he was victorious, and thus Moon Knight was born. Moon Knight has made many appearances in different comic book story arcs. For example, in Age of Ultron, Mark was involved with the Age of Ultron crossover series and is shown to be one of the few heroes left in the city of New York after the Avengers villain Ultron took power. He is working with Black Widow from an old hidden base left by Nick Fury, and their plans focus on destroying Ultron before they are destroyed. During the Civil War, Moon Knight chose to ally with neither side because, as he had said to Captain America, "This war is just like a game of capture the flag." Captain America retorted that he didn't want Moon Knight to join the fight because of his methods of bringing justice, and Iron Man, seeing his history of psychotic tendencies and feeling some sense of obligation due to their past history as Avengers, decided that arresting him will just make things, his condition worse. When the Superhuman Registration Act became a law, Moon Knight felt that he didn't want the law to disrupt his work, so legally registered. Tony Stark assigned Mark to undergo a psychiatric examination, sure that he would fail. But when the psychiatrist placed Mark under deep hypnosis to talk to Mark's other personalities, Konoshu emerged and possessed Mark, who then demoralized the psychiatrist and rebuked him. After this, the intimidated psychiatrist approved Mark's registration, but also did something quite peculiar. He bowed down before him and started worshipping him. But enough talk, and let's have a look at Moon Knight within the game Contest of Champions. So here's the character in all its glory. I do like the way they use the kind of the lovely flowing cloak, and we do have the fantastic symbol on the character in particular, that kind of crescent moon type symbol. The black is kind of questionable. I kind of prefer the kind of classic to it. But signature abilities now, that duplication that I've got on this makes it so really fantastic, adding in some great little kind of elements, especially to the you've got these how to describe it, it's like we've got stun, bleeds, added extra to it. The attacks in general really strong on the character. Its agility and quick pace kind of gives it some more comparisons to Iron Fist and Black Widow. In kind of the game aspect of it. Critical hits are fantastic, and having little slight elements which we're trying to kind of show the character's kind of the ideas about the character with association with the moon. It's quite incredible. I don't know if it kind of aligns itself to the lunar activity with the game, but that would be quite interesting if it did. But all in all, the kind of attacks of the character, something that I particularly enjoy, as a lot of my characters are very slow, and this one, having a duplication, is really fast, efficient. You got Fury, that kind of comes into play and can be really like a beneficial aspect to the character, especially having such an interesting character that can change the game, so to speak. It's a real game changer. Special attacks wise, a lot of the attacks that attach bleed to their end hitting. So it's like, I think the second attack's really good because you really kind of attack the enemy. The first attack's really good because you can usually get a bleed off, and the third attack is quite dynamic, and again, I think there's a chance you can get a bleed with that. Synergies are very interesting though. We've got friends, obviously Spider-Man, enemies, Iron Fist, teammates, Daredevil, and rivals, Deadpool X-Force. And look at that, plus 25% crit damage. That is really good. And so far my team actually does consist of Moon Knight, Deadpool X-Force, Spider-Man, and Iron Patriot. I take that in and out multiple times. The bio, still not very good by Kabam. Yeah, it's got elements of about the character, but it doesn't really kind of talk about the things that we've just talked about, which that's the thing, is Kabam do not hit these points. They're called Marvel Contest of Champions. Come on, guys, pick up the phone and speak to Marvel. It might be beneficial for you to actually find out a bit more about the characters and give us a little bit of information. There's a load of space that can be added there. All in all, looks great. Let's take this guy out on the field. So this is the first fight against the Hulk. As you can see, we've got that wavering crescent on, which boosts a lot of the abilities of Moon Knight, which is great. We're kind of we're gonna finish this guy off. So we'll just show you the first attack. He does his, and I do mine. Punch, throw grenade, and kick, and then throw another grenade again. I like that. Okay, second game coming up against Vision. Yep, first of all, we've got top left-hand corner. Evade comes in on the right, the yellow buff there, and we absorb. I'm going to try and build up to get the second attack, just so we can see that in all its glory. I really need to put up my perfect block so it's a little bit higher, so I can absorb some hits. And here we go. There we go. That's a perfect block. Here's the second attack. Do the cover, and yeah, very nice and effective. Let's go on to the next game. Okay, so here we are in the third game. We're against a Captain America World War II. We're getting that third attack ready. Here we go. Oh, he hits us first with the third attack. That's not particularly good. Don't like that, and he hits us with a stun. As soon as we get out of this stun, we're going to have to hit them straight away with... There we go. Okay, I'm mad now. And here we go. Nice punches there. Great. I like this. It's really shows this kind of mercenary and kind of soldier of fortune, highly skilled, and pick up a fantastic win. So, here are my final thoughts on Moon Knight. So, first and foremost, the character is an excellent scrapper and is able to really attack well, is able to expose and put great damage into enemies when the chips are down in particular. There's great buffs from Fury, Evade, to name but a few, as well as Bleed being something that's a real decent added extra that the character can pull off. All three special attacks are really good, really effective at stripping down the health bar of the enemy. I do like the appearance of the character, even though I did say, you know, there's a few things about it with the black that may be a bit questionable, but I do like the black element. I suppose it kind of adds into the night sky, and the white's, you know, the synonymous with the moon. The mystery of the character is something that I really like. I do think that having a character with mystique, excuse the pun, is something that's really quite cool about the character. And effective criticals when attacking, that's something that's really good about the character as well. It can be a real, like I say, game changer, which can be highly needed when, you know, you're fighting arenas and you rely on this character to win it for you in the end. Bad points? Well, weak armor, but that's something that with most other characters is then sorted out by synergies, so then you match synergies to it. As there's only one character on the synergy list that it can be linked with in order to sort out this issue, it's not particularly good. And the final thing, and it was very difficult to find anything wrong with the character, is the bio. Obviously that's a Kabam error, not putting out a decent bio. You know, do sort that out. Please have a word for me if you want any advice on how to do a decent bio for a character. And anyway, if you do get a chance to have this character, if you can duplicate it, my word, you are going to be a very lucky player. And I think that it's one of my favourite characters so far in the game. And that's very difficult because a lot of the new characters that have come on haven't been particularly good, especially during 2015. Anyway, give me your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what you think about Moon Knight. I've been Rich the Man. I shall catch you on the flip side. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Oh, hello. Thank you for watching that video. Subscribe here. Watch my other material here. And get out of my bathroom, you dirty rotters.
Subscribe to Rich the Man. Now where's my money, bitch?